Gonna do this personal video. It's like one of my first ever personal video series. Oh, look at that beard. I look like. Can I be serious for a minute? I could be like just any other vlogger. And what is this numerology stuff? It's everything. So don't try to get it out of my head. And I'm not like every other blogger. I'm just the same, a different story. Same day. We're all here on the same day. You're here. You're watching me. You're going to watch anybody else. Let's stop. Very, very interesting. When you design, what does it what do you have to do in order to portray to others who see your design, whether it's a street, there's streets. You can go under the street, you can go over the street. But what if you're going over the train tracks? My son mentions this to me. What if you're going over the train tracks? And I'm going, go over the train tracks. You create the pound key, the 9 lives of the cat, the black cat lightning on hydroelectric. Years ago, we used to have the tram cars. They call it the tram and not the metro. So we have to separate these words and numerologically, alphanumerically, put this together in its numeric formation. Well, that's what alphanumeric is. So we take tram and metro. Don't go down on the metro tracks because you'll get electrocuted by the 2 tracks that run with the rubber tires, right? Rubber, oil, electric, how things work together. Oil seems to cool down anything to do with the fire from the gasoline. Imagine they separate the oil from the gas. They both burn, but one is anyways, I'm not going to explain it. You already know yourself. I have to look it up and understand it myself. So when you cross over those tracks, you automatically cause 1111 to run over each other. 1111 run over each other, creating tic-tac-toe, 9 lives of the cat, electrical power. Are you picking up the electrical power, or is the electrical power going that way? Every time you pass over the track and the electrical power goes that way, or does it follow you? If it's going the opposite way, is it getting bits and pieces of information for every thought you take? And if it goes on an angle, the more on an angle, the more information. The best way to catch information is the 45-degree angle. That 45-degree angle on square paper, now I'm expanding this. You see this square paper? And I did this in a video before. In order to run a circle on the square paper, I have to go to the 45 angle to the 90 degree, to the 45 angle to the 90 degree, for the 45 angle to the 90 degree, to the 45 angle. And by the time I get all the way around, there are 8 sides. Plus I have to go over it one more time to complete the cycle. It's like your belt. You don't put the 2 ends of the belt together. You put one end of over the belt and you hook in the holes. A little bit extra. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's good to have a little bit extra, and sometimes just cut it off at the end, you know? Sometimes a little bit extra. I'm a Jew, you know. Like, a little bit extra, it's a little bit extra, you know? It ain't clean. Let's just, get that suit right. Okay. Then there's this design over here. I'm not sure where it's supposed to be, what it's supposed to do yet. But if you notice, if you turn it this way, just look at those 3. See the 2 on the other side? It's an obligation. It's the beginning of the and here's the 3 diamonds that run across. This is an obligation to where you get the size. You know, you get different levels in the card, but you can't just make a card like this in the deck. So they make the card completely rectangle, and they replicate the above as below. But they make one little change, is the images, like on the 9 card, if you take a look, and not the diamond card. Diamond card is completely different. The diamond card is 2 times any other card. So if the diamond card, and we're going to change this a little bit, okay, then I'm expanding, and I hope you can keep up to me. Every suit, there are 13 cards, and every suit, if you add up 1 through 13, it equals to 91. Now, in actuality, the Jack, Queen, King actually don't have any suits, any number of spots on it. So we stop at 10 at 55, okay, with dots, and then we count the 11th, 12th, and 13th card. Unless you're playing poker, we have a 14th card, but it's a shifter. The 14th card is like the first card. It's the ace card at the beginning. It's the ace card at the end. If you use it at the end, you have to start at the 2. If you start at the 2, you count up to 14. If you count 1 to 13, it equals to 91. If you count 2 to 14, it equals to 104. 10-4 communication, Roger Rabbit. I got my ears on. It's at the top above Big Slick. Don't go so quick. So now we're going to get back to something that I probably forgot already. Let me think back. I'm putting this on pause. Okay, 9 Lives of the Cat. Thinking of now where I have the octagon. The octagon of 8. 8 octagon for October, month of October. So now we have 8 and 10 running together. Don't forget, you can go all the way around all you want, but then there's above and below, which we're not going to count the pulls. Okay, there's 8 and above and below. So would that make my 8 6? So where's the 10 in octagon? It's inside. It's inside. I'm going to see if I can show that one design that I just did. Here's one of them. Here's one of them. Automatically, that's what I was talking about. By going around 1/4 turn, and Earth is numeric value 5225. So automatically, the octagon is what shapes the clock. Everything else is in between. 60 minutes, 90 minutes is 1:30. And there's a whole design for 1:30, 13:30 on the clock. Because 13:30 is not just 13:30. It's 1:35. Why? Because it's 13:5 is like this. Well, let's just use 1:30. 1:30 is 1.5. 1.5 hours. 1:30. So you're replacing the 3 with a 5. You're replacing the C with an E. Bringing it into the world. But anyways, let's not talk about that. I'm just talking about the way the clock and the quarter turns, and not half turns and not part turns. Quarter turns, automatically we get the clock running at 8. And there's a lot more I can put into this, a lot more explanation, because I'm not on my webcam right now and I can't point the camera down. Poor excuse for not being able to explain it just off the top of my head, of course. There's a few more designs I wanted to see in here. Hold on. Okay, we're just going to show this design in here. Well, you notice there's absolutely just one square over here. Now, if we had to go just around this, we would end up with 8. Then I would end up with 16. And that's my 5, my PHI. That's where it goes around that 1. This one connected to these 3 is my 4. This one connected to these 3 is my 4. This one connected to these 3 is my 4. And this one connected to these 3. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 equaling to 12.
Keep it simple.
1, 2, 3, 4 equals to 12. Anyways, too complicated. I lost my trend of thought. I'm always trying to keep this simple, but it isn't simple. It's complicated because I'm not sure if you can keep up to what I'm seeing. So I'm just going to show you back. These are all obligations because of the paper. So what I'm saying by 3, I'm going to do this again. This is no longer simple. These are all obligations. To run my ace, you notice the way the ace comes over here, the points meet. I'm not going to start my ace from up here. If I do start my ace from up here going down, okay, what is the angle? From here it's 45. From here it should be about 135 degrees down this way. No, this is 45. This is 135 all the way around. What angle is it from here to here and from here to here? This is my crossing. That's the heart of the ace. The bar of the 66 is, here's a bar for my letter R, and here's a bar for my letter H. Here's the 2 crisscrossing of the train tracks, addition, multiplication. Here's the crisscrossing, my 45 angle 9, passage of the sun, or 90 degrees, birth on the cross. All corners over here, the delta angle, all stand out design 44, the delta angle, passing in between. Here's the incoming information, and here's your going through. What else is in this design? I'm trying to figure out. The V would be below, the M would be above, and the W would be below because of the obligation. You see these designs, how the V and the W are made, and this cross is telling me above and below. There's one more add-on to this. Angles. A lot of it has to do with angles. There's one piece missing. This design is unfinished. The 8 shows up over here. See, the shamus is in the center. This is the menorah. 1, 2, 3 lines, 4 lines, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we light up 8 candles. But when you join it up here and you put the candle in the center, and you join it up here and you put the candle in the center, and you join it up here and you put the candle in the center, you join it up here, you put the candle in the center, you join it up here, and you do the whole thing. Instead of having the 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, from 9 lines, you end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 passages. 9 is 8, 8 is 7, 7 is 6, 6 is 5, etc., etc. If you had one light bringing in the power, you'd be igniting each one of this from 1. 1 lights 8. Raphael, Hanukkah's over. Take down that Christmas tree.